Welcome to the garden on this beautiful late fall afternoon. I want to show you the installation of my vertical geothermal heating system, and I started out here in the garden simply because I wanted to show you nothing, because the beauty about this system is that you really don't see it after the installation. So in principle it is down here in the lawn, in principle right around there, and during the video I will show you how it was installed. So here is the finished result of what we have. Here you have the heat pump. It's a Bosch 16 kilowatt heat pump with a frequency inverter, so it can go up and down, and if we walk in maybe you can hear it. It has a little sound to it, but this is all what you actually have. The brine is coming in here through the pipes that have been taken under the floors of the bathroom and so on, under the terrace, comes up here, and there's an extra pump on the brine in order to compensate for the deep well. Then you have also an extra pump for the heating system. This is that one. Also because the house is fairly big. And yeah, that's about it. Over on the top here you see the gray box is a Wi-Fi module from Bosch. And then next to it there's a heat pump gateway. And I use that to get data into Home Assistant, and I plan on showing that in a later video. And just a quick look at the we're running 19.5, and right now it looks like the water coming up is around 7. And return is 4, which is quite good, and we have an outdoor temperature of 4 C right now. We took the decision to go with vertical rather than horizontal, because if you were going to make horizontal we would need like 800 meters of trench, where we could do away with only 200 meters of vertical drilling. And the vertical drilling doesn't impact the garden at all, whereas the horizontal you will have to dig up a large chunk of the garden, and it would take long time to recover. For drilling you need a lot of water, so we needed to install a 1-inch valve directly after the meter, so we could fill a 20-foot container with water. I believe it was around 20 cubic meter that could go into this container. In total we used around 75 cubic meters of water, so we have to fill it like 4 times or so. Here you can see the preparation before the rig arrives. Steel plates on the lawn to keep the caterpillars from ruining the lawn, and you can see some of the drill casings lying there in the behind. And here is the Geothermal Loop. It's a 220 meter long, 40 millimeter in diameter, and here you can see the U-shaped end of it. So this end here will be the one that will go all the way down to the end of the drilling. And now we have the rig arrived here, and you can see there's a crane on the top, and this is one of the drilling bits, which is the inner drill, and this is the outer one, the casing, that can also remove some stones. You need the casing when you are drilling in sand, so they will be using 2 drills, the inner drill and the casing, all the way down until they hit some more solid than sand. Here we see the drill rig. You can see the big pipe going up and down. That's where the water will be flowing. And the head has like 2 motors that goes each direction, one for the casing and one for the inner drill. And the red thing there is to lift the drill pipes onto the machine. And as you can see now, we have it filled with approximately 20 cubic meters of water. So this is the first pipe coming down, and you can see the inner pipe with the teeth on, and then the outer one, also the one with the teeth. So these are the only one that goes down that will be equipped with teeth. The rest will just be threaded. Now they're ready to start drilling the first hole. But what happened was that one of the pipes with the water leaked, so they had water all over the place. But after fixing that, they were essentially ready to restart. And here you can see that the drill is moving downward for the first time. When the casing is all the way down to the lower claw, they stop and then they can unscrew the casing and lift up the inner pipe, and then they can unscrew that and then add a new fresh set of pipes on top of this one. And then that will go on for quite a while, because I think we ended up with 70 pipes, each 3 meter long, to a total of 212 meters down. arm he is holding is used to keep the inner pipe together with the outer pipe. So the magnet goes on the outer pipe, and then they lift up the outer pipe and put this little fork thing into some notches in the inner pipe, so they will lift up together when they move it to the machine. So second pipe down, and now becoming ready for the third one, and so on. On the left you can see the water from the drilling coming in. It's full of mud, and in the middle we are refilling water because some of the water just do not come up again. Here you see how they insert the inner pipe into the casing. For each 3 meter they go down, they take a sample in small bags, and they are being sent to the Danish Geological Survey, and in that way they can make very good profile of the soil in the area. Here we see the water. This is the big pump that supplies the water, and you can see the mud that is in the container. So water is replaced by mud. The first many meters were sand, but here you can see it becoming white. So we have now reached the chalk layer, which we reached at around 90-meter depth, and you can also see the machine is becoming white. This is the first time where we hit the chalk rock, and it was very obvious to see that the speed of which the drilling was going on decreased dramatically, and it started to make a lot of noise while drilling, as you can see. So they repeated this cycle 40 times, adding a pipe, taking a sample, and so on. And it went on for approximately 2 weeks until they reached the 212 meters. Now we have reached 212 meters, and it's time to remove the inner pipe, leaving the casing back in the hole to keep sand away from collapsing while the geothermal loop is inserted. So they simply pull up the pipe and then take them one by one to the storage. So in this way they continue to pull up the 70 inner pipes. So after taking up the inner pipe, it's time to check the depth of the well. He's sending down a wire with a weight at the end. It has some markings for every, 5 meters or so to check the depth. And I have not cut the sequence here. It takes a full 2 minutes to get the weight all the way down. So be patient. Now we are approximately halfway down.
Er du kommet til på igennem til kineserne, eller hvad helvede er der sket? Ja, de siger, hvor der kommer gratis mad, det napper vi. Der er ikke langt igen.
After having confirmed the depth of the well, it was time to roll up and then insert the geothermal loop. And it was done by attaching a very heavy load at the end at the U and then dump that into the hole. When the buoyance was enough to that it would stop, then they added water into the pipe and then it would go on. So it also took a little while to get it all the way down. Here you can see the load. It's a 80 kilo steel rod that is attached to the U and then inserted into the well hole. Now adding some water, then it starts to roll again, and that was the way to get it all the way down. now with the geothermal loop down, it was time to remove the casing. And it has been sitting there for like a week or two, and it was super difficult to get it up. So they used all the horsepowers of the machine, and sometimes it looked a little like the machine would start to pivot around the hole rather than getting the casing up. But finally they succeeded in loosening it, and then it was easy to pull it up after it got free. With all the casing up, it was time to empty the big container from all the water, leaving the sludge behind. As you can see, the water was all white from the chalk. And here we have the final result, the two pipes coming up from the well that was filled with some bentonite. Inside the house we removed the old gas furnace and disconnected the chimney and closed the hole for that one. And then we had to start finding some empty tubes that I had put in like 15 years ago when we renovated the bathroom. They went from the heating room under the floor of the bathroom all the way out into the garden, and we had to find them. So we knocked out some tiles and dug into the ground, and here you see that we found them outside in the garden. And also after a little digging in the under the tiles, we did find them inside the house. So here we have Ulrik. He is installing the heat pump, and here you can see where the empty pipes end under the floor, and we just had to pull through a 40 millimeter pipe to get connecting between the heat pump and the geothermal loop. This is the electric heater inside the heat pump. And the circulation pump. And here we have the pipes coming out from the room that will then connect to the geothermal loop. The pipe was pressed flat at the end to allow a rope to be added that we could use for pulling it through. So now it's time to do a pressure test. Adding pressure to the geothermal loop and the connections out to see if they can hold the pressure. And all looked good. So it was time to close the garden again, and we added some stones on top of the pipe, so if we at any time dug into the ground, we would hit the stones first. The last part of the installation was to add the brine and get air out of it. It was circulated for an overnight, and then the system is essentially ready for winter use.